Hello, this is Bill Hamilton at the University of Florida Levin College of Law Tech Feature Series for eDiscovery software, where we try and show you software features that you might want to see in your eDiscovery software. Today, I've got with me Alicia Brewer. Alicia's with CSDisco, and I'm thrilled to have you with me today, Alicia.
Thanks, Bill. I'm happy to be here.
You know, Alicia, one of the problems that I experienced as an attorney was wading through the documents you get at the beginning of the case. It's a real temptation just to listen to your client, talk to a couple witnesses, and think you've got a handle on the case. But until you get into the data, you're never sure because your client may forget to tell you something that's important that actually helps the case or possibly hurts the case. So we just can't ignore the data anymore early on. We've got to dig into it. And that was always a frustration for me because you don't want to start doing a manual review of one document and the next and the next. That's too expensive. The client doesn't want to pay for that. So did you have your clients sharing this problem with you?
Oh my goodness, yes. I can definitely say that time and money have been huge drivers of our clients. The reasonableness of review, right? Nobody really likes to do eDiscovery review. It takes time, it's frustrating. And to put time and effort into that where you'd know that it's not going to be quick and easy, it's going to be a laborious task. Definitely, we are always having clients ask us, how do I make this shorter? How do I make this easier and less of a pain to do so that I can get my results faster? And I think that definitely all clients have echoed that.
Okay, well, if we're all suffering from that problem in litigation, at least most of us are, what was your approach? How did Disco go about thinking this through for us?
Sure. So the unique story of Disco is we actually were a law review and we were suffering with the existing tools. It was so frustrating, we decided to make our own solution. Because you sat forever waiting for the system to work. We didn't have a solution that was really fast and efficient in the way that we needed it to be. So as a law team, a litigation boutique, we actually created our own software. And one of the features that we've created in our software we call search visualization. So we take the data that's ingested into the system and then we apply it to graphs and visualize it for you. So it's a much easier way of drilling down into the data rather than having to look at a bunch of words on a screen or a bunch of data that can be in graph-like format and hard to consume.
Yeah, the thing that always frustrated me is, well, in the very old days, they come in with a couple hundred boxes of paper. It's like, here you go. And of course, it was like, oh my gosh. And even today, though, early on when we were looking at documents, we'd have this table view. And what am I going to do with a table view? And even searching a table view presentation isn't easy. So the idea of visualization, we're all used to that. Now we have infographics and everything else that help us out. And you've got that in Disco software?
For sure. And like you said earlier, if you kind of want to test out your hypotheses of who your key witnesses are, or what your key search terms should be, there may be things that you just don't know or someone forgot to tell you, right? So if you don't have those search terms in hand, there's nothing that you can do in a database when you're creating database queries. You need to be able to see that information in front of you so that you can kind of drill in and say, oh, this is interesting. Maybe I should be paying more attention to this and kind of test out your hypotheses to see if those are valid or not.
All right. Well, do you have something you could show us today to give us an idea of how helpful this visualization might be?
Yes, I would love to. Let me share my screen. So as I get my screen up, Bill, our software is web-based, which means you can access it from any browser, anywhere you have internet.
Well, that probably means, too, I would imagine that it's easily shared among team members.
Exactly. So everyone who has a user, here I'm looking at my user list right now, anyone who has user access to this can log in. You guys have tons of tools that I'm not going to cover today, but there are existing tools that allow you to collaborate across in the matter using saved searches or other kind of workflow tools that allow you to work as a team together.
Oh boy, what I'm seeing now though is that there's a dreaded table view.
What's that?
What I'm seeing now is the dreaded table view.
Exactly. So this is kind of hard to consume data. If I know the exact search terms, Disco uses Westlaw style search syntax. If I know the exact search terms, it's easy to drill in and kind of figure out which particular documents I want to look at. But if you want to take a step back and say, before I drill in and start my review, what should I be looking at? What's a bird's eye view of the data? We suggest you use what we call search visualization. So here I clicked on the tab to take you into our search visualization screen, and you'll notice immediately what we call a histogram. So this, what you're looking at, Bill, this is all of the documents spread out across a timeline for a table view, showing you where the documents lie. So obviously, this is the entire Enron data set. So it's about 400,000 documents and change, you'll see up here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the documents hit in 2001, which was when the Enron scandal broke, right? So that makes sense. But you'll also see a couple of outliers, that there are documents that were collected all the way back to 1990, as well as we have documents earlier in 2000.
So what I'm seeing here as an attorney is it looks like the core activity is going on just from this visualization between 99, but more likely 2000 through 2002. And then there may be some other documents on the outside, but I'm not sure about those right now. But I kind of know that my core activity is going to be in that 2 or 3 year period that the documents identify.
Exactly. So there are a couple of tools I'd like to show that allow you to test those hypotheses. First, we can drag and drop my mouse, and you'll see here it's creating a temporary date range filter. So I'm going to only be looking now at a subset of documents in that, potentially responsive range of 1998 to 2002.
Okay.
So from there, if I scroll down, you'll notice that I can drill down into that subset of documents to see where were my documents collected, which custodians pop. So my top 5 custodians are listed here along with all the other custodians and how many documents are in that particular date range. If I click on a custodian, it then further segments the documents. And so now from that 400,000 and change documents, I've drilled down to about 16,000 documents that were collected from Sarah Shackleton.
So like if I had heard from a witness that Sarah Shackleton had created a PowerPoint presentation that was important, I could go right into the PowerPoints and take a look at them.
Exactly. So if you saw what I did, there is this other grid called document type. I selected to filter on PowerPoint. It changed my histogram up here, and it also added a search pill. So here I have my temporary, my exploratory points. I now want to drill into her PowerPoints. I can simply go back to my grid view, click on a document, and now I'm immediately in document context, right? And Disco has incredible speed. You saw how fast that PowerPoint rendered. I can go from PowerPoint to PowerPoint, and it's almost instantaneous rendering.
All right. Well, that helps me dig into the data.
For sure. So let's go back. I'm going to close out of this and go back into our search view.
I like the color rendition. I like the color rendition too, by the way.
Yes, great. Yeah, we do all of the OCRing is all done through our proprietary software. We do all of the ingesting as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take off that search pill, and it's going to recalibrate. And one thing I wanted to point out is you'll notice our search term date range, we said to cap it off at 1998, the end of 98. But you'll notice there are several documents that Sarah may not have told us about from 96 through 90, the beginning of 98 that we're not capturing here. And maybe we should be looking into what are those documents that we're missing. So I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop my mouse over that timeline and then drill down and see what documents are we missing that we weren't necessarily going to be collecting or reviewing. So it looks like a lot of text documents, some Word documents, a couple of other PowerPoints, etc.
So I could check out those Word documents if I wanted to right away, just to make sure that there wasn't anything in those other years that bore on the issues of the case.
Exactly. So let's do that quickly. So I'm still on Sarah's custodian information. We looked at the new earlier date range Word documents, immediate context. I go back into the document grid view, and then it takes me to the particular document itself. So here, you'll also notice I have something called persistent highlighting. So if I'm interested in words like agreement or contract or oil, that kind of thing, for this particular investigation, it'll pop it immediately for my attention, and I can then scroll through those Word documents and see are any of these things that I should be paying attention to that may have information that we're missing, or maybe documents that we needed to, we may need to review and weren't planning on reviewing.
Okay, so I think I get it. Those are like key words that you probably gathered from your initial witness interviews, and you plug those in, and then whenever that word pops up in a document, it's going to be highlighted for you when you're looking at it.
Exactly.
All right, very cool.
Okay, so I'm going to go back into our search visualization. So not only does the tool allow you to kind of slice and dice around date range, custodian, and document type, I'm going to clear this search exploration that we were doing, reset it back to the entire database of 400,000 documents. Another thing that you can look in and drill into, Bill, is actually a conversation. So let's say as an attorney, you're interested in who was sending emails and to whom were they sending them and who were receiving said emails, right? So here I can see for email domains, where were emails being sent, who was sending them, and then who were receiving them. And the different colors tell you who was the to CC or BCC of those particular emails.
Oh, very cool. So if I saw like a suspicious email domain over there, I don't know, Enron Xgate kind of captures my attention right to start. You know, I could click on that and begin to drill into those documents using some of the filters you have here.
For sure. You could even do multiple domains. Let's say you wanted to capture all of the Enron email domains. Like you may know enron.com, but you weren't aware that there was an ECT or ECTenron.com. You can go ahead and click on all of those different iterations of that domain to make sure you're capturing all of the emails that you should be looking at.
Great. So the tool is actually suggesting various features of the data that we might want to explore as filters and as a way of drilling into it.
Yeah, for sure. Like Enron.net may have, or mailman.enron.com, you may not have known that that existed. How would you know to ask that something like that existed unless here it's giving you recommendations of domains that may be of interest to you?
Yeah, and of course that allows me to go back and talk to my witness and be a little bit more informed about our conversation possibly.
Exactly.
All right, Alicia, this has been great. I've really enjoyed the tour of these features, and I think we can all see how this can really benefit an attorney out in the field. And I think these are the kind of features that anybody doing eDiscovery, and that means almost any litigator now, is going to want to see in their eDiscovery software. So, Alicia, before we break, how can anybody get in touch with Disco if they want to talk more about your product and its features and what's happening at Disco?
Sure. I would love to talk with anyone. You can email me at Brewer, BREWER, @CSDisco.com, or our company website is simply CSDisco.com.
All right. Well, thank you. Again, this is Bill Hamilton at the University of Florida Levin College of Law with our Tech Feature Series, trying to show you features that you might want to see in your eDiscovery software. Thank you so much, Alicia.
Thanks, Bill.
Bye-bye.